Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today with our ASTE webinar. Today's webinar will be about geology. The title is Career Path we can take with the geology degree. We are so pleased to have Dr. Nordine Sabaou with us today. So before we start our webinar, I would like to give a short introduction about our association, just for the people that doesn't know the association. So the Algerian American Association for Science, Technology, and Entrepreneurship is a non-profit organization formed in 2020 by a group of scientists and professionals with a mission to advance science, technology, and entrepreneurship in Algeria, fostering a knowledge-based economy. Our association has three working groups: science, technology, and entrepreneurship, and two committees: student initiative committee and scholarship and award committee. In addition to the board members, we have President Dr. Lakhdar Bokro and Vice President Mr. Mohamed Bedroni. Thank you for joining us today. We always welcome new members to join the association. So please, you are welcome to join us and help with our initiatives. For more information, please visit our website. It's aste.org, or you can also email me for more information. So our guest speaker today is Dr. Nordine Sabaou. Dr. Nordine has more than 30 years extensive worldwide experience in oil and gas exploration, field development, and drilling operations. He has been the technical lead to deliver mined G&G work for multidisciplinary teams in various E&P companies such as Sonatrach, BHP, Tullow Oil, and Woodside Energy. As a principal geologist and reservoir modeler at Woodside Energy in Houston, Texas, his current role is to evaluate discovered resource opportunities and make recommendations to acquire DRO opportunities across the globe. To grow the company by working closely with reservoir engineers, business analysts, and commercial and M&A. Dr. Nordine received a geological engineering and mining degree from USTHB University in Algiers and a PhD in petroleum engineering in petroleum geology from Birmingham University in UK, and has a strong background in sedimentology and stratigraphy, having worked in all types of reservoir depositional environment. Besides geoscience, Dr. Nordine is passionate about aviation, fun, and travel addict, which he shares with his wife and two daughters. Dr. Nordine, thank you for joining us today, and the mic is yours.
Hello, everyone. Good morning or good evening. Assalamu alaikum and azul flawan. Thank you so much for the introduction, Omar, and thank you as well, Mohammed, for the invite and give me this opportunity to present what I have to say today, which is a career path. As a geologist, what geology can offer you in the future, or if you are a geologist and you want to expand your horizons as well, how you can do that. So thank you so much. I'm glad to be here, and hello to everyone on this call. Let me share my presentation right now, and we go from there. Just let me know if you see it. Let me go here. Okay, I'm going to go into presentation mode, and we do that. Okay. All right. So I'll start with the rocks immediately. This is from the Tassili Hogar Mountains. Beautiful. I've been there many times, and it's just outstanding scenery that we have in Algeria, in the country. It's a museum, a geological museum for 90% of the country offer that type of scenery, which is outstanding. So today is my talk will be on the career paths with the geological degree, what you can do, and there's no need to introduce myself. Omar has already done that. Let's dive into it, and most of the talk will be on the various geological discipline that you can take as at universities in the world. Geology is being taught everywhere in the world. There is a variety of multiple roles that geoscientists can take you through a career, and I go through that. And this is a wide range from oil and gas exploration to mine extraction, research and teaching, and many other things like CO2 sequestration as well, or carbon capture. So what is needed to fulfill those roles? I'm gonna go through that again, and how we can integrate with other disciplines, because we cannot work on our own in isolation. It's always with others. So we can deliver a minded project or work or recommendations to our employers. Um, and this is it. And at the end, I have a few slides, very few, 4 or 5, just to take you through my day-to-day basis work at Woodside Energy while I'm doing a search for oil and gas resources. So as Omar said, I'm really into oil and gas, that part of the discipline of the geoscience. I don't have much experience in other disciplines, but I came across them and I know I have an idea what they do. So I'll try to do my best to give you more information and more advice beyond oil and gas. So I'm a geoscientist. That's what people, when they say, what do you do for a living? That's why I say I'm geoscientist, I'm geologist, I'm geophysicist, I'm geotechnician, I'm paleontologist. This is how I respond. So, but what that really means, being a geoscientist, we geoscientists, we investigate the physical process of our planet by understanding the interactions of Earth systems. That means, uh, what is happening currently, the mountains that we have, the lakes that we have, the process like the rivers going to the seas, the lakes, the erosion, the earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. That helped me to understand the underground, the subsurface, what we call subsurface, everything happening underground, which is not an easy one to understand. You don't see it; it's underground, so you rely on the data that you're going to get there. So geoscience helped us manage our greatest challenges in our lives through the centuries. I mean, since human beings were on Earth, we already always had earthquakes. We're always looking for resources to make tools. We have the Industrial Revolution that started about a century or 2 centuries ago. We need electricity and heating, and we need all kind of material in our lives. The Egyptians built their pyramids without having steel, no iron. They built it with copper and tin, whatever tools. So that was the geologists come in and try to create and find solutions to the society for the use of the resources or being resilient to natural hazard, either predicting or mitigating natural hazard like earthquake and volcanoes, and as well the environment. This is something new that start to grow more and more, where geologists are involved more and more in preserving the environment. But as well, geologists or geoscientists in general may choose a path to be a teacher or to educate future generation or be a researcher working in a lab. This is another path that is different from industry-based path. It's more academic, but we need geoscientists in academia as well to prepare for future generations for the challenges that the human beings are having nowadays. So it's teamwork. Generally, we go outdoor, but not always. I'll give you an example by myself later. I'm generally office based. I look at workstation. I use softwares, things like that. And it's very rare that I go on a field like this, what you see here in the picture, or sometimes I go on a drilling rig or offshore ship. It happens, but my work is mainly office based. When I was younger, probably the proportions were 50% in the field, 50% in the office. Now I would say 10% in the field and 90% in the office. So what is geology? I could see that we have a few geologists here. But for others who would like to know what is the geology, is a science that studies the Earth's physical structure and substances, the history of the rocks through the years, millions or billions of years up to today, and what is the most economic way that we can use the world resources through the geology. So the science involve other knowledge like biology, chemistry, physics, and mathematics, for example. In my case, I use a lot chemistry and physics, some maths, but mainly chemistry and physics. If you are a geologist, but geologists that choose to do paleontology, which is the study of fossils, you might need biology as well. So the field of geology deals with the real world. This is real. It's not mathematics, anything scribbling on a board. It means you are dealing with real data, real world, and the data is imperfect. It's not exact science. So it's a mix of data. You have to be open. mean, it's an open-ended problem, and instead of picking the best explanation with limited information, and this is what I do daily. So we have data from seismic that we shoot to the underground. We have wells that go down. We collect the data. We have cores that we're gonna, or rocks that we're gonna bring from 3 kilometers or 5 kilometers in the ground up to the surface, and try to make sense of all of it, which is really a challenge. You have to connect the dots. So in order at the end to make a business decision, it's like, yeah, is it worth going and drill and look for oil and gas there? Is it worth going to look for an extraction of copper or zinc or diamond, gold? It is this. So that's in my case. But as well, you have all the other type of disciplines where the geology comes handy, and I'll go through that in a minute. So many geology graduates enter the profession, generally speaking, related to their degrees, such as exploration, production, looking for water supply, environmental planning, conservation, or geological surveying. But what I notice is there is less and less of geologists entering the profession, or they're working either with their degrees. They had to switch something else, something similar, or change completely. And this is happening, I think, worldwide, and not only for geoscience, as the economy of the world, the way how we work, the priorities of the work of the world is changing. But there is still a need for geologists in the future, and I'm going to cover that, and I'll let you know why from now on. People like me, they're retiring in the next 5-10 years. We need fresh blood, and there's not many geologists coming. This new generation, generally, they tend to choose something else. They drift away from science in general, especially geology. So there is a gap between me and the next generation of geologists. There is a gap that we need to fulfill, because we still need oil, we need gas, we need coal, we need geothermal, anything that is energy, we still need it. Environmental geology, civil engineering, geotechnical, hydrogeology, all of that is going to be there. It's the energy one that is a little bit suffering from being understaffed, or will be understaffed soon. I cannot stay and work until my 70s or 80s, so we need a new generation to come in. So the careers in geoscience generally fall into several categories. You have the corporate world, like oil and gas, like mining, and environmental engineering, or environment in general. You have the non-profit as well, that is definitely dominated by environmental work. I'll show you what is that. You can work for the government. U.S. government need geologists. UK, practically every geological survey in the world do need that. In Algeria as well, I hope the job prospect either in oil and gas or mining will take off, and we are not there yet with the environment. I think in Algeria you still find a job if you are do geotechnical work, or being a hydrogeologist. But the mining sector is lagging behind compared to the oil and gas, for example. I did mining geology at Bebzoar in Algeria, and mining geology, they were not recruiting, despite having, well, I showed you the picture of the Tassili and Hogar Mountains. It's super rich in terms of minerals, but the country is focused on oil and gas for now. Hopefully this will change soon. There's a huge opportunity there. And finally, academia. I've seen geologists who just changed career, or wanted to stay to do a PhD and then a postdoc and then become professor at university to teach. Some geologists just shifted and wanted to be next to their families and being close home, which means you are a teacher at high school or middle school, not far from your home. Whereas for us in oil and gas or mining, you have to leave your family and the place that you grew up, leave it behind and go where jobs are. You go to the Middle East, you go to Malaysia, Algeria, or here in Houston. It's not everywhere. You don't have oil and gas or mining companies everywhere next to you. It's not. It's you have to be flexible and relocate. So we talk about that. So let's see, where and how can I study geology? Again, it's a 4 to 5 year degrees. Depends where you are. for Bachelor of Science, like in the UK, it's 3 years. In the States, it's 4. When I did my geological degree at Bebswar, it was 5. It was 5. We had now it has changed, I guess, and some of the attendees might tell us more. I did 1 year natural science, biology, genetic, botanic, and some of it geology and plus maths and statistics. Then I went to do 2 years geology, general geology, tronc commun, what we call this. You learn about everything geology. And then the last 2 years, which means to close out the 5 years, I did this is where you do specialty, and I did mining geology, and that was awesome. So I went to the Hogar Mountains and did my thesis there. But depends on where you are in which country. It could be 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years to do a BSc, MSc. PhD typically in the UK is 3 years, 4 years here. You can go up to 10 years elsewhere. But you need to take all these other courses like science, physics, chemistry, maths. I would have added here statistics as well. I did a lot with statistics, geostatistics in my reservoir modeling using software. So there's a lot maths there. So this is from the Geological Society of London. It's explore your options, choose your degree. What do you want to do? There's a wide range of subjects. Funding your degree. Now, this is very important. This is what the problem is actually for most people everywhere in the world who want to do a degree, any degree in, let's say, USA, UK, and Canada. It's expensive. It's super expensive. Algeria is almost free education. We are blessed with that. France will cost you nothing, maybe just the dorms, your rooms and day-to-day eating, stuff like that. Spain, Italy, the same. The further you go north, like the UK, Germany, or you go on the other side, like the US and Canada, it's super expensive. And you need to find funding for your degree through scholarships or grants. There is not a lot of them, but it's doable. If you are good, you can access those funding for your degree. But generally speaking, students here are mainly they to take loans from banks, and so when they graduate, they end up with debts at the end of the day, and they take them 10, 15 years to pay back the debt. So during your degree, the thing that I really advise is to start very early to look, especially when you are nearing the end of your degree, to look for placement, internship within companies. That helps, especially in the US and UK, Canada as well. They do take interns. The Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the Emirates, they do have a intern program that you can get possibly a job as a graduate when you finish. So after you finish your degree, a Bachelor of Science, the first few years, you might go and search for a job, or say, okay, I'm going to get 1 or 2 more years and do a master degree, Master of Science in Geology, or a PhD at the end. So there are implications, not only financial, but you have. I'll show you what I meant by having just a BSc or just an MSc or just a PhD, and that is going to be our next talk. All right, what can I do with my geological degree? So we are set up for a career within the energy, the environment, or engineering sectors, plus as well the academy. If you want to stay academic and do more research, publishing papers while teaching a new generation of geoscientists. So those are the job options generally that you're going to get. It's a non exclusive list. I can go hundreds of other options that you have there when you finish your geological degree, and I'll go through a few of them. But you can do a lot, and you have here. Let me just. Can I do a pointer? Yeah. This is where we end up if you do paleontology. You work in academia, you teach, you look for fossils, and I'll see what that means. I'll tell you, working in academia versus in the private sector, what it means in terms of salary and in terms of job security. You can be in the lab if you want, looking at thin sections of the rocks, see if they're suitable for, I don't know, If they have traces of gold in them, which is an indication that we might go there and dig a query and search for gold. You can do a lot in geoscience, as you can see. Who employs geologists? There's a wide range as well in here. Depends on the disciplines. The popular roles, generally, everyone want to be either in resource exploration production, which means oil and gas, mining, or environmental geoscience with water supply, like hydrogeology, hydrologist. Those are the popular ones generally, and then it goes down more and more down. So those are the top sectors that pay the best, and as you go down here, you have less pay, but you do have a job security, a good pension, and more holidays. Here we don't have a lot of holidays, and I don't know if you heard about the US. Generally, is the worst when it comes to holidays. We have 2 weeks holidays. I mean, if I leave Houston for Algeria, 4 days would be just being in a plane. So I eat my holidays. So those are the where employment can generally be found in these organizations and corporations. So I have to tell you, and I hope people in the audience, we heard the one saying that he's a passionate geologist. I am a passionate geologist. If you are not a passionate geologist, this is not a job for you. So if you hate your job as a geologist, it's not good. So why the geologist students or geologists in general are the happiest? We are passionate about our job because it allows you to pursue your curiosity. As a geologist, if you are not curious, it's not a job for you. It's very different of being an accountant, it's a bit of art as well in here. So you have your curiosity, like the guy in here who's looking at taking a sample, lava flow sample in Hawaii. To analyze. So yeah, it triggered our curiosity, geology, either on surface or subsurface. So we do field trips. It's always good to be outdoor. I've done many. I'll show you a few. Geology can take you around the world, especially if you are in the oil and gas industry or mining. You travel a lot. I did travel a lot. Now less. As I get older, I don't like to travel. I like to stay home. But you travel a lot, so you have to be prepared for that. And if you are not someone who is flexible, who can travel or relocate, again, this is not for you. And geology, the employers of geoscientists are not in your street. It's not next door. You can walk to a school or a small accountancy office where you can work. It's different. There's some sacrifices to be done here. We like to solve problems. It's like a puzzle. You have few data here and there, especially if you're working subsurface like me. You try to connect them, try to build a picture of what is underground and is it worth going down, and really has implication of cost, millions of dollars to drill well, mobilization, but as well you have to be prepared that you come up dry and there is nothing in there, and you spend all that money for nothing. You have to justify that with your managers. Geology offers a variety of different career paths. I showed you, but we're gonna talk about more. Wide range, whatever your heart is in. And sometimes I've seen people, choosing something and then switch. I choose mining, but I was recruited by Sonatrach, so I did sedimentology stratigraphy, and then I went into geomodeling and drilling operations. Totally different from what I learned at WebSoar. We use cutting-edge technology, either softwares, highly sophisticated softwares, very, very expensive for modeling the subsurface. But as well, you come across anything that is on a rig, drilling rigs, anything that is wireline, anything that collects data in subsurface, anything that is that monitor the pressure underground, so the well that you are putting in the ground will not blow up. All those are cutting edge technology, and actually NASA for a long time, including the land on the moon, used a lot of petroleum technology in their space exploration. So you can grow in your career there. It can be, you start as a graduate, then you're going to be a specialist, then you're going to be senior geologist, and then a principal geologist. You can go managerial, you become a manager, a vice president. You can do all of that, go to manager, then back down again to be just an individual contributor. The passion of geoscience is still there, whether you are a manager or an individual contributor. So you do have job opportunities right after college with a BSc, MS, and PhD. It's not everywhere in the world that is I'm conscious about job opportunities in Algeria. It shouldn't be difficult given the scale of the country and the oil and gas industry there. The mining that still needs to be developed. And we have two person here from Batna University. In my time, I think geoscience was not taught in Batna. It used to be just maybe two places like Algiers and Oran. This is it. Now, I mean, geoscience departments are in few universities in Algeria. So, but hopefully, the job opportunities or job opportunity or how to say the job environment will be more prolific for Algerian geoscientists who are there. And again, so Bachelor of Science and MSc, this is typical to the UK, Canada, and US. It's different in Algeria or France or Italy. But here in the UK, generally they start with MS. MS is a Master of Science, and geology is preferred. PhD, very few people do take a doctorate in geoscience unless you want to be in academia. I have PhD from Birmingham University in the UK in the oil and gas industry, so it wasn't hard for me to find a job. But as well, it's a layback field. It's not, I wouldn't say a stressful job, but because there is a rocks behind every work you do, I find it personally it's layback. And we have small community of colleagues there. It's a small world. When I go to conferences, I always bump into people that I know from the past through companies or through other conferences in the past. We always catch up. It's a small community. And geology, let's use to the rocks. This is all about rocks at the end of the day. So, what sort of career path you can take here? And there is a few topics. Let me just do this. There's something. Okay. So, what topics are you really interested in? If you know, so select which ones. But if you don't know, talk to your mentors, industry people, have advice from these guys, and remember, you and me are not different. We are all passionate about geoscience in that aspect. But where we are different is what we would like to do in the future. Is it something what works for me might not work for you? So it's good to have advice and recommendations from other people, but at the end of the day, it's you. You have to make the decision yourself on what you want for your career in geoscience, with type of discipline in geoscience. So, and as well, search for opportunities that are available and where. I moved around. I lived in Algiers. I worked with Sonatrach. I worked in Boumerdès. I went to Hassan Saoud, and then I studied in the UK. And I lived in 3 places in the UK, and then moved to Houston. And I can give you many examples of geoscientists or people in our industry doing that, and many Algerians as well who are with me at Sonatrach. Either some of them stayed and they worked in Hassi and Amenas, and then they relocate to Algiers, or the others left the country as well, and to go to various places. Be flexible and be prepared for change. That's what I'm saying. If you really want to expand and jump on opportunities, be flexible. Again, if I'm living in this house and I would like to walk to my workplace, it's not possible. If my job is relocated to I don't know, Kuala Lumpur, shall I go? Shall I stay? And this is a decision that you have to make. So be flexible. Always be flexible. You are not going to have always have what you want 100%. So, and make most of it. I always say this to my daughters: be half full glass, no half empty glass. Be positive about it. So, and be prepared for change. And if sacrifices come with the changes, you have to see what fits you. what fits your family, to talk to your family as well, if they're as well prepared for a change, if it's not just you. So define your personal choices from what I just said and go for it. Do not hesitate. If this is what you want to do, go for it. But just please be flexible. So those are the various parts of employment that you can get as being a geologist. I already covered that. And it's just summarized in this graph with all the possibilities that you might have in minerals and fossil fuels. Fossil fuels means oil and gas extraction. Geothermal is getting big. It's more and more, it's big, it's clean, it's good for the environment. Algeria is one of the hotspots for geothermals as well. I hope it's going to be developed in the future. All the hammamats that we have along the Atlas Mountains. This is geothermal. You can have geothermal wells and provide energy for a small town nearby. So that is something I hope the Algerian government will develop. It's getting bigger and bigger here in the States or North America in general, but this is something that the Europeans are really looking forward to it. They want to phase out oil and gas, any carbon emission. So geothermal beside wind, solar. Geothermal is something that is big in European countries, mainly Switzerland, Germany, Austria. I mean, the Alps, where the Alps are, they have a lot of geothermal. Environment is another one that is big, given the climate change, etc. So there is a lot of opportunities for geologists to go into environmental jobs. As I said, research, generally the PhDs do go for research and work for research centers or universities. Some go to the government. Very few go to the industry, PhDs. It's mainly the masters. I'm very lucky to be in oil and gas industry with PhD. And then you have other potential fields here. You have space science, which is NASA. They study the moon, they study Mars. Now with the probes and the rovers are on Mars, collecting samples and analyzing these ones on spot. So they need people for geoscientists for that. Soil science is another one. It's all about fertility of the soil, movement of the soil. So it has direct impact for either hazard or agriculture, etc., etc. So I'm not going to cover all of that, but it's just give you an idea. So let's start by the environmental science or human health. They need geoscientists to work with the people who do proper environment. You have biology environment and you have chemistry environment. These guys, I mean, the geoscience will find itself being involved with the people in the environmental science to investigate any contamination, protect human ecological health, assess water resources as well. Do we have enough water here? Is it contaminated? Is it for drinkable water? Is it for agriculture? That is environmental science. We move to the energy resources. That is my specialty here. So mining first. So it's the study of the subsurface to explore for oil, natural gas, coal, le charbon, uranium, lithium, and geothermal. We have to be now responsibly extract the resources in oil and gas or mining. You don't do damage to the environment. There is a lot of there's policies for that, but there is a lot of steps to take before extracting oil and gas or uranium or any other mineral. You have to be careful not to damage the environment. For that, there are many jobs in the US. Australia, so let's split it. In the US, mainly for oil and gas, a bit mining. Australia, mainly mining. Middle East, only in oil and gas. And Africa in both mining or oil and gas. I would have put Latin America for the mining here. Very little in terms of oil and gas. So this is what we do. What you see here is a platform producing oil with a helipad. And what we extract, just in the case of oil, for example, those are the type of crude oil that we have here. And imagine, so you have black oil, the heaviest one, to the light one, which is nice and sweet. It has less heavy component. But what you see here, this liquid that you see here, has many applications. Many applications in terms of electricity, gas, heating, plastic, cars for the gasoline or oil, petroleum for the cars and diesel, even our clothes that are some they are made of, some of them are made of synthetic fabric. Many applications, just with the oils, many applications. So it's very, very hard to get rid of it when we move to do energy transition, move to cleaner energy. You still have to deal the byproduct of the crude oil. Not to mention les engrais as well for agriculture. It comes from oil. So mineral resources here is to explore for the mineral resources mainly for fine aggregate, sand, gravel for buildings, but as well ore bodies, which is metal, like iron, copper, zinc, lead, diamonds, gold, silver. All those are different components, especially nowadays. Copper or lithium are very, very used in smartphones, computers, electric vehicles. So this is what I'm saying. It's in the future, geoscientists will be needed again. And that's what I'm trying to encourage here is to consider being a geoscientist in the future. And for mineral resources, jobs are available worldwide. Any country has mining at different scales, but it's there. It's there. You don't have to leave far away from mining operations if you want to. So. And I hope again Algeria would develop this as they develop the oil and gas industry. What you see here is a quarry, a geologist sitting here. You can be a geologist and looking directly for iron ore, copper, zinc, whatever in this quarry, or you can be a geologist helping the engineers to design the mining or the quarry. With tunnels, excavation, stuff like that. They need a geologist as well. Different type of geology, which is mainly geotechnical geology that is related to civil engineering. But they need geologists for this as well. I put pictures here of uncut diamonds, natural diamonds, very expensive. Now you have the engineering, geology, and natural hazards. This is to investigate the physical property of the earth for the nation's infrastructure and help mitigate natural disasters that can impact people, like earthquakes, volcanoes, mudslide, landslide, and anything that can impact infrastructure or housing. Because people's lives are at stake, and the economy can suffer from it as well. So, and there are other part of geoscience that you can be involved with. Water treatment, solid waste, landslides, anything that is road and building constructions, they need geology from day one. Before they start to put pillars or, they start building roads, whatever. You have the geotechnician, they're going to go and sample the soil and made a report with recommendation if the place is suitable for buildings. It's gonna be okay. It's not that it's no subsidence or it's too loose and friable. The building will collapse. So it's very important to have them. And I think this is where in this type of geoscience discipline, this is where you don't have to go far away from your home to find a job. It's in every city. You do have construction, so they need geotechnician in every city. Then finally, the research and education again is to train the next generation of would-be geoscientists. If you choose to go to academia, you have the schools versus university, whatever you want, whatever suits you, whatever is your personal situation, family situation. It's like, okay, I cannot leave Betna. I cannot leave Betna. Just to give an example of our friends from Betna here. I cannot leave Betna. I have family here. My parents are elderly parents. I like to stay around. So what are the opportunities in the Betna area within the radius of 100 kilometers? So that's the thing that we need to take in consideration. Research and education could be a solution for you. You be a teacher at school or university or work in a laboratory lab not far from home. That's one thing. So why is that? What are you going to get through this education and research if you decide to stay in academia? You're going to have time to develop new methods to support future generations. You can work as a college professor. You can be a government employee. You can be within a development teams that develop things based on geoscience. You can teach all kind of earth science fields for schools or universities. You can be a college professor, educating next generation. But above all, despite the salaries are lower here, you have job security. I very rarely heard that professors and teachers are being fired, and you have more holidays. Remember, 2 weeks that I have 3 now because I'm getting older. They give me 3 weeks. It's not like Algeria; everyone gets 1 month, or in France. Or here is different, but you have job security here. You have a good pension. The pension is quite good here, and yeah. Whereas for us, when we work in highly lucrative jobs like oil and gas industry or mining, you are well paid. You are subject to let go, to be fired, to redundancy. You can lose your job easily, and it's hard to find a more one. So this is something. If you are not risk taker, you are risk averse when it comes to jobs, and you want nice and smooth life, not far from home. Research and educations as a geoscientist might be for you. Omar, how we are doing with time? Is it good? We think so.
Yeah, we can add 5 minutes more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How to get a job as a geologist? I'm going to go quick on that. You need stronger science background. Master degree is preferred. You're willing to work in multidisciplinary teams. You prepare professional quality CV. This is very important. Get it reviewed by mentors and get interview practice. And then it's very important to be part of the Geoscience Society, like PSGB, APG, etc., etc. Most of them are in the US or UK or Europe, but it doesn't stop you to join them. And I'm sure Algeria used to have one that I was part of. I don't know if it's still there, but it used to be there. So the job outlook, I mean, this is all the disciplines in geoscience that you can have with a Bachelor of Science or a Master or a PhD. And you can immediately see, in my case, oil and gas, I take it as an example, that there is very little Bachelor of Science in oil and gas, just 5%. And 28% of all the masters are in oil and gas. So we prefer to have master degrees, people with master degrees than BSc. The PhDs, as I said, generally they go to academia, research, government, but you do have about 8% in oil and gas, which is me. Those are top sector that employ geoscientists. I think I went through that. But you can see the salary is dropping as you go to college and universities as well. But remember, the job security increases as you go down here. And you have more holidays, close to home, better pension. I think I'm not going to go through the detail here, just to let you know that there is, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, there is about 250,000 geoscientists in the United States. But globally, from now on, from 2022 to 32, they are predicting a 4.4% increase in geoscience jobs from now on. You can see the increase here, the breakdown. Generally speaking, it's you see, computer mathematical geoscientists, very important, develop softwares. You have civil engineers, you have a lot of environment geologists there as well. So yeah, there is an increase in the next decade by 4.4%. We need more lithiums for the Teslas. We need more copper for the smartphones, and God knows what technology is coming our way. Very important, guys, if you are looking for a job right now, do your research, have your CV ready. It's generally about 2 pages of the CV. Do not put 10. I received the CV from a contractor last week. It was 10 pages. I'm not going to read 10 pages. 2 is enough. And one thing that gets me when I recruit and look at CVs and recruit is if there is typos there, mistakes in the CVs, that put me off. You are looking for a job, you are selling yourself, you are bringing your skills, and your CV is telling me that you are not focused, you don't pay attention, and there's a lot of mistakes in your CVs. But get it proved. You read it, but give it to someone else to prove it. Generally speaking, in our industry, we don't require covering letters. If not, if the employer doesn't require covering layers in your CV, put just a paragraph that introduces yourself. Yeah, 5 years experience, graduates from Bethlehem University in tectonic, and my motivation is this and this and that. It's important, but just a paragraph at the start of your CV. So hire me. um, you can look for jobs, geoscience jobs, through general universities. They have job fairs or career centers. Internet is the big one, and internet, but I mean LinkedIn is number one. Have a look at that. Professional societies a little bit. Personal contact is another one. Who you know could be helpful. Not always. Depends. The company is recruiting, and you know that person that in the company that is recruiting. Yes, good luck, best chance for you, but we'll go through the interview even if you know me. Networking, the resume, I'm not reading all of that, but just this, proofread your resume, spell check, proofread again. You know, it's if your CV comes to me with mistakes, typos, not organized, I don't even consider the CV. And again, as I said, LinkedIn is the place to start. It's really good actually. Many of my friends and colleagues who were let go, fired from the company, find a job sometimes within just weeks, sometimes just within a year through LinkedIn. 80 or 90% of them. So, and this is a poster for geoscience for the future. I didn't cover all disciplines that geoscience can do, and this for the future. I didn't cover GIS and remote sensing, planetary geology, hydropower, carbon capture and storage here, hydrogeology. We talked about geothermal here. I mean, it's a lot. This is the 4.4% increase in geoscience jobs for the next decade will be focused on this. We still need geoscientists. So quickly on my job and what I do. Generally, I just it's not about rocks, but it's where everything starts for my job is the rocks. I traveled the world, thanks God, and that was really good for me. This is in Spain, this is in Kenya, Utah, Omar. This is not far from Salt Lake City. You can see dinosaur bone here, a femur. So I study rocks, but travel around the world less now, but I used to be sent everywhere. With the people they can see on the pictures here. Um, Algeria many times, either when I was working there or studying there, or what I went from the US here to Algeria many times as well, to the Sahara. So but for me, at the end of the day, it's all about finding oil and gas. All what you see, all these pictures, just to understand the environment that could be underground, how it looks, and where we can find that precious oil and gas resources. So I'm 2 slides before I finish, Omar. I think I'm good. So besides looking at rocks, I also study subsurface, as you can see, what is underground, and we put a well there, and we have sparse data. We then, if we believe that there is oil or gas in there, we send all this drill ship to go offshore or onshore and extract the oil, as you can see here through the platform. It was awesome for me. That was a great experience. So what else? So I use mainly my workstation, the office. Remember, I spent 90% of my time in the office where I compile the data, digest the data, create geomodels for drilling operations for exploration and producing the wells. And that is one of my model. And you can see it here. It's in 3D. You have the wells going in. By the way, this is around 3 to 6 kilometers underground. And above it's all those other layers of rocks that don't have oil and gas in them. And then you have another kilometer or 2 kilometers of water depth. So this is what my final product is this. And then I take it to the drillers and we work together to put the wells in to extract the hydrocarbon from here. And here we go. This is the end of my talk here, and thank you for your time. If you are looking for a job, good luck with your career choices and with your job search. And remember to network as well, and remember to proofread your CV if you are looking for a job. This is from the Hogar Mountains, and yeah, the geologists are always looking at the rocks, and we have engineers with us. They don't care about the rocks; they just tell them what to do, and they do it. So thank you so much. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for being here.
Uh,
Listening to me.
Thank you, Dr. Nordine, for this great presentation. Yeah, it's a nice overview over like all the aspects of the geology. Uh, I have a few questions. I would like to start, like, especially since we are talking about like securing a job or a career path into geology. From your experience, Dr. Nordine, what do you think? Like, what are the strengths like in your profile that made you like stand up versus other candidates? Like, what
Yeah,
skills that you should maybe focus on or work
I
on?
see. Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for whoever is behind the question. Um, it is. I'm going back a long time ago, 30 years ago. I have to tell you my story quickly. I was doing my military service in Amenas, 1997, 98. And I was already working with the Sonatrach, a CRD, Center of Research and Development Bombardiers. And I was doing my military surveys. We were escorting material in a place called Hasib Bor, which is between Amenas and Hassim South. And I find a payphone in cabine telephonic. So I called home, and my brother said, "Hey, listen, you are about to finish your military service. 2 weeks left before Lucky. A friend from Sonatrach called, and there's a scholarship to the UK, and they would like to know if you are interested and to be put on the list." And I said, "Yes, put me. I'm free. Hopefully, inshallah, in 2 weeks, and rejoin Sonatrach." And it happened like that. And we were, I don't know how many. So it was a BHP scholarship. It's not Sonatrach scholarship. BHP scholarship to do PhD in the UK. So I went to I rejoined Sonatrach, and BHP came in and did the interviews, and we were about 20. Out of 20, I got the job. And now reflecting on it, just to answer the questions, I think what I showed in that interview is the passion for geology, being very professional. My CV didn't have mistakes in them, uh, and, uh, and that was, I think, a trigger. And later on, the exploration manager of BHP said, with the interview, we knew that it was you immediately because of those things: being professional, passionate, show the skills that you have, and hopefully the CV will tell the skills. But when they take you through the CV into the interview, you you know why you put in your CV. Do not lie. What is written is you. And this is what happened to me, I think. And later on, when I got for interviews for jobs, I worked for 5 companies. So it's always like that. Be passionate, be professional, which means listen to the questions, give time, and answer just to the questions. Um, and your CV need to be immaculate. So I don't know if this help answer the question.
Yes, Dr. Nordine, yeah, thank you. I think also you mentioned some of the skills I have seen like on the slides on GIS and some
Yep.
like expertise on these new skills. Maybe it
Yeah.
will help on that area. Uh,
Yeah.
I have a question on the chat box from Nabil. He asks, do you think it's not late for 42 years old to take a new opportunity in wireline,
No.
slickline, or coating? Is the age a barrier on?
No. No. Used to be. Used to be. Where we find ourselves in the oil and gas and mining, especially, is the employment fluctuate with the oil and gas prices or mining product prices, and the companies do panic when the cost of the price of the barrel of oil drop like $30, $40. Panic, fire for 40%, and because they did it repeatedly in the last 10 years, and then COVID hit, the people who are even who stayed who are safe from an employment point of view start to leave because they couldn't handle all this uncertainty in job security. Now we find ourselves without many people. I do a job of 3 person. And the new generation, the Gen Zs, coming in, are not going to geoscience or biology, or they prefer artificial intelligence, machine learning, art, liberal art, something like that. It's very unfortunate. So yeah, it's not too late. Definitely not too late. We had people who left 5 years doing other things. One had a hotel. The other one was had enough. He went to clean houses, and they came back because the industry needed them. And those are years of skills. We have a gap, as I said. So I think, yeah, hang in there. I'm sure, especially in Algeria, there's a lot to do. Hopefully, the government will look at develop the mining sector.
Okay, thank you. I have another question is about the energy transition. So what do you think, like how future geologists be prepared for this shift from oil and gas to energy transition?
Yeah. Our skills are transferable in general, and the energy transition is here. It's happening. It's good, but I think it's not going as fast as people think. So you still need oil and gas, fossil fuels behind it. What you can do with the fossil fuels is to mitigate the emissions and do carbon capture in CCS or CCUS, carbon capture storage in the ground for any emissions. You don't flare. Flaring gas, that is not good, and more countries are banning that. You cannot flare in the US. You cannot, even Algeria, you cannot flare. Although I see sometimes when I go to I see some flaring, but it's less than what it used to be, which is good. So geoscientists, as I showed you, geoscience of the future will play an important role in the energy transition or new energy by looking after lithium and copper for electric vehicles and smartphones, whatever. By just the ground that you're going to build the eolian, the wind farms. You need geologists to look at the soil before putting those huge thing. And geothermal is everywhere. It's amazing how it was there for 50 years, but it never took off because the oil and gas was always there. Now, especially with Europe turning towards a more climate sensitive, where they're banning oil and gas extraction, and geothermal is big there. And you recycle the water. It's just hot water coming in, produce energy between two wells, and you can light up a village or a small city in Switzerland, or Algeria has a lot of hydrothermal. If you look at a map of Algeria, that is what we call geothermal gradient of Algeria. There's a lot of potential there. How many hammamat we have? I mean, those that we know of as a touristic resource, the ones that are not even in the catalog, thousands. Yeah. So geoscientists are needed, not to mention the construction of roads and buildings.
Good. Well, yeah. Thank you. Okay. My last question here is geoscience and AI. Is AI a threat for us, like on the job markets? What do you think, Dr. Nord?
Sometimes I wonder. But there are things where think about it like factories where cars are produced. A factory that used to have 10,000 people might have 3,000 people now because the rest is being done by robots. So you can bring AI or machine learning into the company. It could be, I wouldn't say a threat, but you control the AI. They need humans to tell AI or the machine learning what to do, which direction you're going to take. And at the end of the day, it's the human that are going to make decisions, not a computer like go and drill down. No. We tried. We brought to my company. We brought a guy who was really innovative in doing this kind of stuff, and to look at the seismic sections underground through AI and run the algorithm and do the interpretation immediately within a few minutes. But it's a lot of it's not good. The product is not good. I give you one thing. You've seen AI generated photos, pictures, maybe videos, and they look great, look polished, but it's not real. It's not, for me, it's not as beautiful as the pictures that I showed you of the Hogar Mountains at the beginning. You can generate that in AI, no problems, but it's not real. I don't see it as a threat. I don't see AI going and tell people who would like to put those wind farms or build a city, do this, do that, do not go here, do this. You still need to collect samples. You still need to look at the grain size. You need to test the soil for chemicals and waste. Yeah, I may some part maybe, but not all of it.
Okay.
I don't see it as a threat, to be honest.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. I don't know if you're
ready.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Nordine.
I think I don't really remember, Nordine, when you were here in San Diego. We had. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you when you were in San Diego last time, which is regarding because we have some new development in Algeria with Sonatrach signing this huge contract with American companies, which in my mind are really to develop the schist or the
shale gas.
Yeah, and there was a lot of debate on LinkedIn. I was involved, and my position is very clear. I am against all of this huge investment in the oil and gas industry because history has shown that they really bring no economic development to the country. That's my position, and I'm not going to change it. So I would like really to have, from the technical point of view, your position as is that type of technology, fracking, really possible in Algeria, and what are the consequences on the environment if the technology is used?
Okay, this is a good question, Mohammed. Yeah, I remember the chat that we had back in San Diego.
Yes.
Listen, and again, I'm here not as a Woodside representative, and what I say is just concern me. It's my opinion here. It's not company opinion. So I saw the contract signed with ExxonMobil and then Chevron as well to tap into the huge.
As a matter of fact, just general as a founding member of the association, we are trying and we are promoting, proposing, suggesting many ideas and projects in Algeria. Unfortunately, execution is really a problem. And I myself had a couple of meetings with the Minister of Higher Education 2 years ago, and I sent them a list of projects that we can have them get implemented. One is to make Algerian living in US with special skills, expertise, and experience, sharing that with Algerian organizations, students, faculties. It was a long list. 2 years later, we're still waiting for their approval or decision to move forward. So now, just what Nordine is suggesting is spending like a semester or year teaching at Algerian University. We suggested that to them also, like to create a program similar to the Fulbright program, that it would be Algerian program in reverse. I mean, right now, I personally discussed that with at least 10 people here in California, all Algerians with PhDs, master's degrees, long experience in many fields, and I asked them, are you willing to go Algeria spend 6 months teaching a subject at one of the Algerian universities? They said yes. So we proposed that to the Algerian Minister of Higher Education. So far, not even a reply. So it's not us that is, we are here, we're ready to help. We have to find funding. We have to create programs where, we can concretely, besides this webinar, come to Algeria and really teach or conduct a seminar or conduct research on the ground for a certain period of time. So Nabil, it's you to really fight with us to make this possible. But we are here. We cannot do everything from here. We need your help.
Yes, I can't miss this chance. So I will ask you to give me the link for your association. If I have a chance to be a member of this association, if I can add a value for your association, I'm here.
Yeah, the link is posted on the chat, so you have it there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed.
Okay, and if you have any question, feel free to contact me. I got email, phone calls, everything on a daily basis from Algeria, so I try to help as much as possible. Omar is doing his part. Nordine is an active member of the association, and we need to get the association stronger so we can really help.
Yeah, I just posted the link to the membership, so you can go through and thank you so much for raising this concern. Like, actually, yeah, there is a knowledge gap between like in Algeria and abroad. So some of the students find like some barrier, let's say, to grow up and progress with their career in geology. So this kind of initiative maybe will help and try to help them or support them like to get to the level of the geoscience market, let's say, job market. Yeah, so I think we are about to end up the time. So
what Ibtisam can see? Is she there? Is she still? Maybe we can hear from her.
Yes. No.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
Yes.
Salam.
So I'm Benabit Ibtisam, option of geotechnical engineering, a degree of PhD, University of Tbilisi. I worked in my PhD on shallow landslides in the state of unsaturated soil in the region of northeast Algeria. In my work in PhD is divided in two parts. The first part is the experimental, it means field, and the second part it was between the remote sensing and the numerical analysis. In the numerical analysis, I used the geoslope, the couple between the SIP W and slope W. The aim of my work is to find the relationship between the geomorphological and the geological and the property geotechnical soils and rainfall for this webinar.
That's great. Yeah, it's more like a geology application to the geotechnical field. Yeah, so I think Dr. Nordine covered.
Yeah,
this,
it's this landslide remote sensing to be used for geohazard. This is really good, Ibtisam. Thank you for letting us know what you do, and it's the future as well. The community. This is what I was saying. We have oil and gas mining, we have environmental and waste and etc. And generally, we provide the energy that the world uses, but as well we need to protect our populations from landslides or mudslides, earthquakes, and anything like that. Or when you construct buildings on an area that is not suitable for construction, you start to have cracks in the buildings, and buildings collapsing. That is a huge responsibility. So geotechnical is something that can be used everywhere. Remote sensing, especially to from above, using satellite images to see where the weaknesses are.
Thank you, Dr. Nordine. So, and thank you, Ibtisam, for your contribution. So we are about to close this webinar. So, Dr. Nordine, if you have a last word for young geologists, future geologists, like on their career.
Yeah, just first of all, thank you again for inviting me. It has been a pleasure to present this. Hopefully, it's going to be the first of so many. But for the geologists, if you want to be a geologist, or you are already a geologist, keep believing in it. Nabil reinvented himself differently after doing various jobs, including teaching. Now he's in Elmerk, based very close to the oil industry, right in the heart of it, actually, doing project management. And he, I heard from you, Nabil, is you even used some of your geological skills in what you do, which is outstanding. But if you want to expand your knowledge and your skills, we geologists, we are always curious. We have that curiosity. Keep looking for new stuff. Keep moving forward. Keep reading publications. Keep listening to webinars while you are either searching for a job or you want to progress with your career you are in. And again, very important, CV and the interview process. If you are looking for a job, is very, very important. And always be professional. This applies to everybody in any discipline.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nordine, for your presentation today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all the advice that you have shared with us. Thank you, attendees, for joining us today. We look forward for future event, maybe more technical in the geoscience field. I'm excited to this one, so thank you, Nabil, for raising this concern. Yeah, we look forward to see you in future event, and thank you, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.